Should we start at the beginning?
I mean, let's go. I mean, we didn't really get many details while we were out there. I mean, I heard the only thing I heard of any like particular interest so far was like you went to a class where you were pasting your feelings onto a box.
No, well, and I'll get to that part.
Okay. So
it's just like the word dumb like 50 times all over my feelings box. Now, so Muse, who has been insanely supportive.
right.
Like, the kid called me all the time, called me 4 times from Australia, came up a bunch of times. Hey man, let's go out. Let me get you out. Like very concerned when I came back, to the point where like he called Suzanne, how's he doing? That kind of shit. I went with him. Like, I got in, hung out with Kev, slept at Kev's house the next day. Muse came up and we went to the place, and I have like 2 pills left, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to not take these, because who the fuck knows what's ahead of me in the next like 12 hours or so. Took the last 2 pills and went to the place, which I had seen online. But if you're thinking that like it's like one of those hardcore jail cell, militaristic, or even anything
under harsh fluorescent light,
right? Like, look at yourself. No. It's a house in the Hollywood Hills. It's actually a series of houses. They have like one main house. That's the one I was in. Like, the kitchen's in there, where they have a chef who makes you like, I mean, it's bizarre. I mean, this is obviously not Bry Johnson money. This is Kev Smith money.
Right.
Paying for this. Filet mignon for dinner.
Ooh.
Incredible, different types of food, like 3 times a day.
do you think that's good or bad? Do you think it should be more like,
The harsh lights.
stop pampering, let's just get down to work?
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends on who you ask. A little filet mignon.
How's that gonna help?
Well, speaking of which, I have to show you something in a little while, Quinn. Remind me.
Okay.
It's French.
Oh.
French tart.
Oh. I like French tarts.
It depends. It depends on who you ask. Now, so me and Muse go up there, and Muse has gone there before, so that's why he recommended this place. I was going to go to Promises, and it turned out it was like, for the first 30 days, you couldn't have a phone, and they knew that that would be a deal breaker because I couldn't talk to Sage or Suzanne, so I went to this place instead, which was a lot less rigid. And he had some dude who he keyed me in with, who then went on vacation for like the next 3 weeks, and I never saw again. Nice. But you go in, you meet a bunch of staff, and you're allowed to just bail for the first 3 days, because like, you don't have to go to meetings, you don't have to interact with groups, you don't have to do any of that shit, because you're going to be feeling so crappy, for those first 3 days, that it's sort of pointless and torturous.
Are they giving you drugs to combat
Oh, yeah.
the withdrawal? Oh, okay.
Are you feeling too bad to order the filet mignon?
A little bit. I hardly had the strength to ring my butler
Jeeves! More filet mignon.
Yeah, put it in my IV, Jeeves. Idiot. I'll have you fired. Do you know who I am? Friend of Kev Smith. Yeah. By extension, you'll be fired. Don't worry about it. No, Jeeves doesn't bring shit to you. But there was, in the immediate, like, I go in and they're like, Muse tried to get me a single room, but I guess, I don't know who they saved those for, because they didn't use them a lot. So I get a roommate.
Ooh.
I know, and I'm like, oh, fuck, man.
This isn't going to be who I want this to be.
No. It's not going to be who I want it to be.
It's a drug addict.
Right.
You're rooming with a drug
It's some crazy fuck up.
Yeah. There's another owl in that room.
That's the thing. I was unable to stop using the term alky or junkie the whole time I was there, like judging people all over the place. But when the guy shows up, he's some gay dude. So I spent the next 5 days in ecstasy. No, so I find out that
pulls up in a pink Prius.
Yeah, I was like, I saw you not park that car. No, he's there. He's an alcoholic, and his husband is there. But they're not allowed to stay in the same room or whatever.
Oh, wait, they're both alkies?
Yeah, both alcoholics.
Holy shit.
Now, that dude, I was grateful to be his roommate. He was a fucking super cool guy. He had this dog, this bulldog, who, like, the first couple days when I was, like, feeling all shitty.
You have your pet with you?
Yeah, you can bring a dog with you, which didn't always work out. I saw a couple dog fights and shit. And, like, during groups, sometimes, like, the dogs would disrupt it, or, like, one day a dog shit outside my door. And stuff. Not his dog, though. His dog was perfectly behaved. So I started rooming with that guy, and he sort of gave me, like, the lay of the land.
Now, when you say he's a gay guy, is he, like, one of those well-put-together gay guys? Is he like a well-dressed, fashion-forward?
Yes.
So he sees you.
In fact, yeah, he sees me, and he's like, I'm rooming with Swamp Thing. Like,
the guy's husband's like, oh, thank God.
Right.
Yeah, I know there's going to be no hanky.
No, male nor female would touch this fucking mess of a person. I'm just like, where are my drugs? It's like, shut up! But you don't sleep very well, right? So the first night, of course, I'm like, why did I listen to Walt? Why didn't I wait another week? With no reason. There's no good reason. Like, I'm not giving any reasons as to why I should have waited another week, except like, oh, here it comes.
Right.
Here come the withdrawals. Here comes the pain and the shit I don't want to go through. That when I had the pills, it seems like, I can do that because you believe you can.
Sure. That's how I feel when I'm on alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
Incidentally, you have to stop drinking. I can't be around non-sober people.
Our friendship is over.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you have to go to 3 meetings with me every day. No, it's her. Suzanne drinks wine. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not serious.
Yeah, I know. But there are people that are like, you cannot be around other non-sober people, and I'm just like, then I guess I'm just hanging around with Walt because I don't know anybody else who's totally.
It's not bad way to spend your time. Walt's a great guy to hang out with.
Sure, but he's got the dude's driving around in a fucking Prius all day.
Right, you're right.
He's showing off.
Excellent point.
Yeah, driving around, letting the townsfolk know who's boss. But I finally fall asleep, and then at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up to like screaming. And like this weird, like imagine Anne Ramsey from Throw Mama from the Train.
Right.
Oh, and you stupid people.
Right.
That is exactly the voice I hear, screaming nonsensical ramblings.
Did you take like a, what's it called? Like what's it called when you do a voice impersonation class?
He's doing good, right?
Really?
Yeah.
It's like since returning, you're really trying to get her
You shit all over my Rush Limbaugh.
I was only teasing. I wasn't bad. But
Ladies and gentlemen, let's try again. Let's start again.
Did you do some sort of like impersonation classes while you're out there? It's
good, man. Bryan left.
I tried to hone my Ming. That was about it.
That was good. Bryan left. Rich Little came back. Love it.
Yeah, there's a person screaming outside the window, and I'm fucking like, I want to be like, hey man, I was freaked out. It's like, I was terrified. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm confused because I'm like, where am I? That kind of shit. And, it turns out that there's a lady there, and she's been there for some time, and she's an older lady, like probably in her 50s or so. And she, at one point she had a drug habit and she was there, but now she lived there because she got into a motorcycle accident years ago, and they had to remove most of her frontal lobes. So now she has no filter. She just says anything. Whatever she's thinking, she says.
Tourette's?
What's that?
Like Tourette's?
A little bit, except
They remove
they're not
pieces of her
ticks.
brain.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Depends on what piece you move, Q.
Yeah?
Move, yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of people, I think, could use that.
yeah.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
She was actually kind of funny. Like, there were times when she made me laugh. And then
Intentionally or just her antics?
Just because of her.
no, she knew she was being funny.
Oh, okay.
And she would make me laugh. By the end, she was doing weird shit. Like, she kissed my ear, like, did like a, like, breathed into it. I told you that. Yeah, she got, like, one day, it was like, you know, like, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, where she, like, that old, like, Betty Davis, she had, like, old bag. She dresses up all cutesy, and it's like an old woman acting young with a young dress on. That's what she was doing, and, like, being very, like, coquettish and shit. And I was like, get me out of here. Like, I gotta leave early. This is too weird. But she was nice. Like, she would come and she would write shit every morning and she'd read it to me and stuff. And, then the last, like, second day, she goes, permission to touch you? And I was like, sure. Cause like the last time she only like rubbed my shoulders and she's like, permission to give you a kiss. So I thought she'd just give me like a kiss on the cheek or whatever. But like she kissed my ear and did that little breathing thing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so hard. But you know, there's a couple more stories about her. But, for those first couple of days, I didn't do shit. Now I got there on a Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, I was into the shit, you know. The first couple days were pretty hellish as far as withdrawals and shit. It's not fun. It's everything like. It wasn't exactly train spotting where I'm like 2 tins tomato soup. But it was not fun. But then you come out of it and you're like, wow, I feel better, you know? I thought they nailed it on Nurse Jackie. I don't know if you watch Nurse Jackie, but, like, spoiler alert, she went to rehab. Fuck you. And, I feel like the first couple of days they sort of got the vibe of how people feel. It's very uncomfortable. You just can't get comfortable no matter what you do. So this place, like a lot of places, is very big into the 12-step program, right? Which is, do you know anything about it, Walt?
God.
A lot of God stuff. A lot of like step
prescription
one.
For a savior.
It doesn't have to be necessarily God because that throws a lot of people off. It's just your higher power, whatever your higher power could be. Like I had a buddy there who's like, I've decided my higher power is going to be the sun, which I thought was a pretty good idea because it's like if the sun fucking blinks out, we're all fucked. Sure. So that's a higher power, something that's bigger than you, basically, is what they say.
But it can't be another person.
I guess it could be.
Like Chuck Barris, you could pick Chuck Barris.
You could if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
I suppose. You go, who the fuck are they to tell you who you can pick?
You didn't pick Sunday Jeff?
It's strange you should ask. I did.
That would have been my go-to.
Yeah, Sunday Jeff. So it wouldn't have been me. But they're like, okay, you got to go to 12-step meetings. All right. Now Saturday and Sunday very loose, right? But Sunday they're like, everybody goes to this 12-step meeting. So we go to this place. It's me, Ann Ramsey, and one other lady who's like really nice lady. She's probably my age. Very, very nice lady. She's been like doing shit for 20 years, trying to get her kids back, that sort of thing. But we pull into a very nondescript, like strip mall type place in the valley. And you go in, and it looks like an old, like, VFW or Elks Lodge. It has the drop ceilings and the fluorescent lights and the fucking wood paneling and shit. And you go into this room, and it's like you and, I don't know, it was me and maybe like 10 other people, 12 other people. And for a fucking hour, you read out of this book. Now, this is like some sort of primer, I guess, for it. So they read the book, and every time there's bold face, one person has to read. That's the next person's point of time to read, right? Now, the point of this is not this boring bullshit that it reminds you of school. The point is, you have a bunch of people who are fucking pretty much rock bottom, right?
Right.
And you decide to hold this fucking class or whatever in a room that is almost entirely brown. Now, the walls are brown. The floor is painted brown. The tables are brown, the podium is brown, the fucking tablecloths are brown, there's a drop ceiling, fluorescent lighting. You want to fucking kill yourself. And you want to fucking ask the motherfucker who painted the place, like with every motherfucking cocksucking fucking color in the rainbow, why the fuck would you paint everything brown and when you're already fucking at the end of your fucking rope?
Is brown a bad color? Is brown like a trip?
Let me ask you something. No, yeah, I was like, oh man, look at look at the one color.
Is like a brown some sort of like when people who are down and they see...
it's a drab color.
I mean, it doesn't, unless it was just like...
I mean, aren't you...
Earthy? It is earthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
You could pretend you're buried in your grave.
I've never heard that before. You're telling me that like brown is a trigger for people to feel worse if they're feeling bad?
I don't think it's a trigger to fucking feel better.
What color is